I worked at AFTV, I got Robbie with me. We've just drawn 1-1 to Brighton here at the Amex. It felt like the last game, I'm going to go straight to referee on this one. The last game was at home, Declan Rice, red card, refereeing decision. Today was a penalty. Was it a penalty? Where are you at with it today? That kind of felt like the biggest moment in the game.
Again, it's all about Anthony Taylor. Every time I see this referee, in any game, not even just us, I know some sort of controversial decision is coming, right? And he was under a lot of pressure from the Brighton fans because there was a couple of little decisions, that didn't quite go their way. They thought they should have had a foul here and there.
Yeah, they were singing you're not fit to referee as well.
And you saw after that, he started giving them everything. And to me, that's another one of them ultra soft decisions that you see in games. I heard Lee say it earlier, the Ipswich game last week, I'm watching that, the Chelsea, all right, obviously I don't want Chelsea to win, but when I saw that penalty, I'm like, yeah, that's an obvious dive. Surely VAR is going to get involved. They didn't. The one today is so soft. You know what I mean?
It's contact, like, head. If it was on the foot, it'd be a penalty.
It's a no-contact sport. What we're saying...
The way the game's going, it's looking like it.
And I just feel, if he doesn't give that, they're not going to... And by the way, this thing about with VAR now, I don't think there's no point anymore.
Oh,
in the Premier League...
You were for VAR for a long time.
I was for VAR, but what I've noticed this season is that any time a referee gives a decision, they never send them to overturn it no more. It's like, basically, that's me, mate. I'm sticking with that. All right, it's a bit dodgy, but let's just stick with the on-field thing. Yeah. That was so soft today, and that has changed. That has been the game-changing moment of the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because up until that, Arsenal are in full control. I feel we should have went for it a bit more. We should have tried to get that second goal, because this is what happens when you're only 1-0. Things like this can happen. A penalty, a little moment,
Did you feel like it was going to come? Because it felt like Brighton, I said to you in the stands, against Brentford, it felt like they were sitting in at times. Brighton weren't doing that. They were going...
No, but up until the penalty, they did nothing. Up until the penalty. When they got the penalty now and they got that goal and now it's 1-1, all of a sudden you saw a different Brighton. They were energised by it. And then all of a sudden, probably in the end, we take the point because, they were really in the ascendancy. But up until that penalty, nothing game. Absolutely nothing game. So it's all about Mr. Anthony Taylor. Let me get myself involved in the game. I've never seen that. Have you ever seen that? Has anyone ever seen a penalty given like that? But I know if I want to see new things and new penalties given and new red cards given and that come to an Arsenal game, you will always see something brand new and fresh that you've never seen before and will probably never see again.
Yeah. Let me ask you, because you just said there, like, we end up getting a point, and you that's in the end that's what you want to take. You can take, especially when we came out. One of the fans said, "Good to take a point." They'll look like they were at us at one point.
We're under pressure. We need to win every game because of what Liverpool have been doing. They've been magnificent. There's so many points ahead, so the pressure is all on us. We have to keep winning and winning and winning. If we weren't under so much pressure, we'd all be walking away from here today saying, fair enough, we take the point. We're a bit under par today, let's be real. And it happens at this time. I think you've seen a lot of teams over this Christmas period. The games catches up with them. There's a lot of illness in the camp. I heard a lot of people saying, why is Odegaard not starting? They reckon he was ill. Yeah. Why did Martinelli not start? Apparently he was ill.
Did they look good today for you?
Well, I'll tell you what, when Martinelli came on, he definitely looked ill because he didn't do anything. Odegaard was giving the ball away. He didn't, And Havertz, wasn't even in the squad. He's ill. And I was chatting to one of the, police down there who sort of moves around with the Arsenal one. He said there's been a lot of illness in the camp. So maybe that explains why they were below par today. But I thought we were managing it well at 1-0. But you've always got to get that second goal in the Premier League, especially against a team like Brighton. They're a good side.
They are.
They're a good side, you know what I mean? So
was Mikel Arteta right to take off Ifeanyi at half-time?
Listen, we've suffered already this season by going down to 10 men. I think he's paranoid about it. He's a young player. He's 17. He's got to have to do a lot of tracking back against, tricky wingers, fast players. Could easily give away another yellow card and get sent off. And Mikel Arteta's probably looking at him thinking, it's Anthony Taylor. nah, let's get him off, man, because this guy, he will definitely send someone off. So I think it was probably a wise decision.
Yeah, Lee came on and said the title's done now. We're both ever the optimists.
Who knows, man? Who knows, really? You know what I mean? Like, you know, a couple of weeks ago, you know, everyone thought Chelsea were going for it. They've dropped points. Who knows? You really don't know. I mean, I'm not for a minute thinking that Manchester United are going to get a result tomorrow at Anfield. I don't. But I do feel that there are games that along the line where they could possibly slip up. But we are falling far behind. And we're in a position where we have to just win. And in the Premier League, that's very difficult to win every single game, especially away from home. We've just had back-to-back away games at two tricky places to go to. I mean, Liverpool fans would have been looking at both of these games and thinking these are definitely potential banana skins. So, and today's proved to be one.
Yeah, let me kind of end with asking you, any credit to Brighton or Arsenal just weren't at it today? Because I felt it was feisty, this game. There was a lot of tensions, there was a lot of physicality, there was a lot of...
I think Arsenal are upset after the penalty, you know what I mean, because it's so soft. You know what I mean? I've never seen a penalty given like that before, you know what I mean?
So no credit to Brighton. Did they get it right? Did they get it right?
When we see all the shoving and pushing and all that goes around in the box, when we see it's combative game football. So he hasn't headed him deliberately. No. He hasn't. You know what I mean? It's a combative game. Is that a penalty? I mean, come on, Anthony Taylor. Why have you? It's all about him.
He's bought the foul.
To me, I just find him as a referee. It's all about him. And then when you compare it to other games, Lee said it. I was watching a game earlier on today. Anthony Gordon. That's not a penalty. When you're going to look at the two now, but no doubt they'll have the experts look at it and they'll say, oh, there was a bit of contact. And if there's a bit of contact, but is that what the game is now? Are we, I mean, it's
like... Taylor's supposed to be one of our best in the country.
He's terrible. And football nowadays, especially when you come into the box, in football has become basketball. You know, in basketball where, you know what I mean, you just touch someone like that and it's given as a foul. You know what I mean? Next minute we're going to see in football, the way it's going, we're going to have free throws or something like that, or free, you know what I mean? You get free penalties.
Yeah, shadow defended in the box.
Because honestly, I just feel that the worst thing about it is there's no consistency. It depends on who the guy is refereeing the game. It could be another referee next week. That will not be given. If it's Anthony Taylor, we'll give it. This one will give it. That one will... There's no consistency. There's no nothing. And that's why we come out here moaning about referees. But ultimately... we didn't do enough. And I'd say finally, one thing Mikel Arteta should have learnt today is that he must go into the market and buy an attacking player this transfer window. I think if he doesn't do that, there's no chance of winning the league. You saw today how bare that bench was. Trossard was having a nightmare. He needed to come off, but there was no one to bring on, right? He has to go into the transfer market. There's no Saka at the moment. You know what I mean? You're relying on players like Jesus. He's done well over the last few games. Well. Havertz. Yeah. We're going to get injuries. We're going to get more. Look how many games we've got coming up. You know what I mean? We've got a game on Tuesday. We've got a game on Saturday. We've got a game the next Wednesday. The Saturday after that. The next week. This month, we've got games like literally every few games. We must strengthen that squad, and I don't know what they're waiting for. Get out there, and if you've got to pay over the odds, because Arsenal have got the money to do it. This January transfer window, we've got too many big competitions that we are still in for us to not go and strengthen this squad.
Is one striker enough? Because the way you're talking is like we need bodies more than just one big signing.
I think a quality striker. I think a quality striker, a quality wide player would be enough. I do think there's enough in midfield. I think there's enough in defence. But it's those attacking areas in games like this. Go and get a game-changing player, even if it's going to cost a lot of money. Because you can see today, it's games like this, when they're really tight, where you might need a little moment. You might need somebody in the box to just come up with a big moment for you, even when you're not playing well. We see Liverpool sometimes, they're below par, but Salah comes up with a moment. With us sometimes, we're a bit below par. Saka comes up with a moment. Haaland does it for City. You know what I mean? Chris Wood has been doing it for Nottingham Forest. We must go out there. If he doesn't do that, we're in trouble when it comes to winning one of these. Listen, we haven't lost today. We haven't lost for ages, actually. But it's a draw and his points dropped. And if you had a top-class striker, maybe you could have turned that game today.